Hi there, welcome to the Raven's Call. I'm Eric Wordweaver Sjerven, Gothi of the Hridgar folk, and I'm your host. For those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you know that this is something where I ramble on about different heathen-related subjects. You know, a lot of what I do is tailored towards newbies who are trying to get started and who are trying to, learn more about heathenry, learn more about this particular path. And today I want to do something special for you guys, okay? Today, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into how my tribe does things, okay? One of the questions that I get more often than anything else in dealing with all of this is, how do you guys do it? Festival, worship, things like that. And I've explained before that I cannot video any of our rituals, and there's a specific reason for that, okay? You guys that have watched my previous videos, especially the one on Blot Stumble, how Hridgar does both of those, you'll find that from that I can't really videotape things or really take pictures from those rituals because they just don't work. Things end up not working, which honestly is kind of a way that I can tell that the rituals are indeed working, because the energies at play are too much to be videoed. There's another reason for it, okay? Ritual is about the inner. It's about tribe. It's about your family. It's about, the group that is worshiping together, that is engaging the sacred. When you establish a vey, or a sacred space, if you're using a room that you're serving as kind of a makeshift hof, which I know is a modernized use of that term. It's actually a dedicated hall. But if you've got a room that you've dedicated as your altar space, as your ritual space, if you've got, any of these vey where you've established a good boundary, one of the key things about a sacred space is establishing a boundary. There's the inner part of the sacred space, and then there's the outer world. It's innengard and utengard in a physical space. There's a lot of metaphysical reasons for that, and I'll break down some of that when I do a video on veys and how to create those, and what mine. I'll give you kind of an outside-in look. I can't take any electronics into my vey, but I'll give you kind of footage from the outside looking into it, how I've constructed it, things that I've done, and things that I plan to do in the future. But essentially, you create an inner space, a sacred space, a safe space that is set aside. It is both a part of this world and a window to the sacred. So, and again, I'll break down the metaphysics in my actual vey episode. But the important part here is that by videotaping, by opening up a window into the outer world, I break the barrier on that sacred space. And that's something that I'm not willing to do. It's like I create the wall around Asgard, but I leave a giant chunk here where just anybody can walk up and look in. And it's like, well, then you're not really building a wall. You're not building a warding. You're not building a secured location. And again, there's a lot of metaphysical reasons into that, and we'll discuss those at a later time. But just know, because of that, because I can't open that window to the outer, I can't give you guys a look at the inner workings. So, I've done some explanations of how we do blot and how we do stumble. Well, today's episode is something special. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour of our celebration, our festival, and how we do things. So, obviously I'm filming this ahead of time so that when I go out this weekend for our festival, I can film some footage. I can kind of show you guys around some of the games we do, some of the things we do, and see if maybe some of my tribe members will be willing to either appear on camera or at least have their voices appear on camera, and kind of give you just an overall feel of how we do a festival and celebration. So a little background on this one. Now, this is what I would call one of the minor festivals. It is not one of the major ones, which I count as Midsummer, Yule, and what we call Hridgar, which a lot of others will call Ostra or Easter, depending on their particular cultural aesthetic. There's a lot of reasons for that, and maybe around springtime I'll talk a little bit about it. I already talked some in my regionalization of holidays video as to why we do that, but this one is Freyfaxi. Okay, this is a festival that occurs at the beginning of the harvest season. Now I realize, for those of you that are more of a historical heathen bent, that this is not one of the ones that necessarily is well attributed in lore, and that there's It's not one of the major festivals that are attested to in the sagas and all of that, but it is something that has grown up as a tradition, especially in modern heathenry, and it's something that we have played with in and out as far as whether or not it's something that we want to continue adapting and adopting within our own tribe for our own purposes. And it is, our experiences have been that things are better for us if we observe Freyfaxi. So, just a little background on how we do Freyfaxi and what it is to us. Freyfaxi is one that we celebrate at the beginning of the harvest season. We celebrate it in September. Now, we're not a farming community, so the harvest is a little bit different for us. Some of what we do harvest-wise is actually like hunting and things like that, but it's also it's not just about the boon we get from the harvest, but also the fecundity, the well-being of wealth, being provided for, and having what we need in coming into lean times. And so, just as you would be giving blot to Freyr in the Old Norse for good crops and things like that, in the same, we're giving offering in hopes that he will bless us with luck for abundance in the coming year, in the coming winter season, so that we will be able to persevere and do all right for ourselves during that period, which is a thing. Winter in Texas is not like winter everywhere else. We don't get the feet of snow that everybody else does, but we do get ice storms. We get ice storms pretty bad, usually later in the season, usually like January, February, March kind of area. And everybody gives us a hard time down south about you get a quarter inch of snow and then the entire town shuts down. No, we get ice, all right, guys? We don't get snow, we get ice. And when we do, the town shuts down, and largely because we don't have the infrastructure to deal with ice and snow. Why would you? It's not cost efficient to invest in snow plows and tremendous amounts of sand and salt in order to, be able to get those roadways working again when it happens once every couple of years, and it's like maybe a day or two, unless we have a really bad one, which will last for 3 or 4 days. But again, those only happen like every 4 or 5 years. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense financially for the towns to invest that kind of infrastructure overhead when we have so many other things that we need to worry about and build on and be prepared for, especially when it comes to road safety and things like that, because Texas is huge and we have large expanses of roadways that need to be taken care of. Similarly, the size of Texas is part of the reason why we can't deal with that amount of ice, because I have a 30 to 45 minute commute, mostly highway miles, into work every day, and bridges and whatnot are very, very risky when it ices up. And when you're out in the middle of the county like that, it's a very low priority bridge to de-ice and whatnot. So anyway, the gist of all that being that we look for Freyr's blessing both in building fecundity, building abundance in this season, but also in protection going into the rougher times of the year. Now again, more of the protective elements we'll touch on when we hit like winter nights and actually into Yule, into the colder part of the season. Not that it ever really gets cold here, but you know what I mean. But another part of Freyfaxi is that Freyfaxi begins the time of year where things start to turn inward. Okay, for all intents and purposes, our spring and summer events are more open. We bring in people from the local community, friends and extended family, things like that. We invite these to our festivals in order to, build frith and to build community. And so Freyfaxi marks the last of the really open events that we do for the year. Freyfaxi is one that is, and I say open, it's actually an invite-only event, which is why I don't have like 80 people there. But we are expecting something like 25, including the kids and whatnot. So, it's a fairly decent-sized little festival. And Freyfaxi, Freyr is one of the gods he is the god that I see as the god of frith, the god of frith building. It's, something that I think is extremely important, and that's something I'm probably going to do another video on explicitly, is exploring Freyr's role as god of frith. But in honoring Freyr at Freyfaxi, what I intend to do is to start the ball rolling on a very frithful time of year, because the winter and fall months are where we turn inside. Winter Nights is very much a tribe-oriented festival. Yule is very much tribe-oriented. Yule is closed for us. Now, sometimes we will do a high feast of Yule where we will invite some individuals in to celebrate with us, but for the most part, it is going to be a closed event with tribe only. So, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, just because I wanted to give a little exposition going in, which is why I'm in the studio right now, my office. But that's why I wanted to be in here, where I could be a little bit more controlled in my explanation. And then the footage that follows, hopefully if everything goes according to plan, will be from the festival. My intention is also to try and film one of my stories there, the next chapter in the saga of Bjorn Thorolfsson. Hopefully, fingers crossed. My intention is to catch a live performance of that from the festival so you guys can see it in action, provided everything works out okay. I intend to have that for you guys on the channel under Weaving Words after the festival. It takes a little bit more editing with those, but hopefully with a live performance there won't be too terribly much. So look for these things coming up. What'll follow is going to be kind of a hodgepodge of things, and I may break some of the footage up into multiple videos. It remains to be seen. It depends on video length and things like that, and just what happens at the festival. So I'm not entirely certain yet, because it hasn't happened yet as of this filming. So anyway, thank you guys for watching the channel. Please, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Subscribe, ding the bell, follow me on all my stuff. I'm not going to tag it this time, but if you want my contact information, grab the last video, grab any video, and I pop it up on the screen or in the description. It'll still end up in the description down below. But email me, catch me on Facebook at Word-Weaver Productions, and you know the rest of the spiel. So, welcome to our Freyfaxi. Come on in. And let's see what we've got, all right? So please, enjoy this little window into our little world. Hail and thank you. Hey everybody. Like I said, I was going to try and do some footage from our Freyfaxi celebration this go-around, and this is my attempt at doing so. So forgive the shaky cam. I'm having to go kind of hands-on as opposed to using my handy little tripod. So I'm doing the best I can, all right? So, let me give you a little rundown of what's going on, all right? This is our Freyfaxi ceremony, and I know I didn't explain it fully earlier, but for our Freyfaxi, we celebrate both Frey and Freya, because, well, it's an opportunity for us to celebrate the divine twins in their fullness and awesomeness. So, that's our Freyfaxi is to both Frey and Freya. But this little alley that I'm on right now is our game field. It's also the way to the they. And sorry, I'm a mess. It's hot and stuff here in Texas. So I don't know if you can see this back here, but this little way up here, obviously it's the easement for the power lines and whatnot. But we'll take our spears and we'll chunk them down this way. I've got a target up there for my axes and throwing knives and stuff like that I'll show you here in a bit. And it goes all the way on down this way. Nice little dead end there with the foliage and whatnot. And then behind me here is my vey. Now I'm going to flip the... Well, I can't flip the camera. Not from this view anyway. I'm going to give you all seasickness. All right, behind me here is my vey, all right? Now, obviously, I can't come in here with the camera because I've got a little entryway here that wards are set up on, and I can't pass in there with any electronics. We're not doing a ritual right now, so I can at least show it to you, but you'll see the little stone altar right about here. This is our Hridgar. It's a stone altar that we use as our gateway to the divine. Yes, I'm gesturing with my cigar, but deal with it, all right? Over here, you're going to see a little stump where we will put our water to cleanse ourselves, wash off some of the profane world before stepping into the sacred. And then this little table back here is our temporary spot where we're setting weapons and things like that, because I don't allow weapons or electronics into the vey. So before ritual, everybody sets their stuff up over here. And the idea behind this is that only humans and our material things go in there. Energies from the electronics tend to disrupt the energies of a ritual. Plus, on top of that, you've got the whole
weapons aspect. I like to keep weapons out of the Vey unless they're in for actual ritual purposes. Like we have a blade, a sax knife that we bring in, Brother's Worth, that was crafted by Jacob, one of my Jarls. And I may show that on the channel here at some point in time. But that's one of the things that we got going on. So anyway, I'm going to be popping in throughout. This will be kind of cut in, cut out throughout the day. Little bitty things, little short ins and outs. But I wanted to show you our Vey a bit. I can't show you a ritual in there, but I can at least show you the Vey itself. And I can step a little bit closer here. If y'all don't know, there's a hurricane over on the coast at the moment, which doesn't impact Texas a whole lot. All right, there's my Hridgar. Doesn't impact Texas a whole lot other than the fact that it's really freaking humid right now. It's kind of ridiculous. This little pile of wood here is a pile of wood that I gather from the Vey itself. It's all free-falling wood in the Vey, naturally harvested, naturally gifted to us from the Vey. I stack it here, and we use it to start our ritual fires for Vey purposes. Our little cactus here, I love this guy. He's been here since we've had the property, and I just kind of respect him as a guardian of the Vey. I don't know if you can see in the background there's a little rope that runs. Yeah, this seems to see it there. We set up a barrier around the Vey with the rope. This giant, well, not giant, but this tree here is kind of the guardian of the Vey, the centerpiece of the Vey, the soul of the Vey, the old man. And I come out and have conversations with him regularly. And then, of course, through my altar, I give offerings to the gods and goddesses. And, you know, again, you can see our little table and stuff over here. So, but yeah, I like to have the game field out in front of the Vey so that we can enjoy games and activities together while celebrating at festival. So, I'll pop in and out with some more stuff as we go along. I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown on that. So I'm going to step back up here, and here in a little bit, I'll show you some of the other stuff we got going on. So enjoy. All right, guys, like I said before, this is my little axe target, my little throwing target. It's kind of hodgepodge. We actually have plans to extend from this part down to the ground. It's a bit short right now. The axes tend to hit these nails here. So we're going to kind of work with that a little bit. But, you know, I've got some basic throwing axes, throwing knives. And it's a pretty basic target. There's nothing super impressive about it, but the kids like playing with it, the adults like playing with it, so we have a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to step you back down here real quick, and what you're going to see is that right there is my spear. So I may cut a little bit of this, I may leave a little bit of the walking around, I don't know, we'll see. All right, this is my spear. Now, I know I've already shot this once, but for some reason it didn't work out all right. This is my spear. It's my throwing spear. This is Folk Weaver, whose name is in accordance with the fact that it is the needle that binds. This is the spear that I use to weave together my folk. It is specifically used for games and activities. Yeah, it's dirty right now. It needs a cleaning, but, you know, I'll give it one here in a little while. But specifically, we use it for games, throwing for distance, throwing for accuracy, things like that. And it's all about building frith, about building fellowship through competition and through fun. So that's the Sjerven bind rune right there. That's my family's bind rune. And that's the Hridgar bind rune, marking my tribe. So I did all the wood burning and the runes and stuff on it. Of course, I attached it here. It's an old broom handle. And the spearhead itself was a gift to me from our first chieftain when I first joined the tribe, and I'm quite proud of it, and it's been with me the entire time. So this sucker has been with me as long as there has been a Hridgar. Anyway, so we're going to take this bad boy and we chunk him down the way, and we'll stick him for distance, we'll stick him for accuracy. Obviously I only threw that like 8 feet maybe, simply because I'm holding a camera. So usually we chunk it clear down there by the tree from where I'm standing now. But anyway, I don't know if maybe I'll get some footage of my people later playing with it, but it's a thing. So here's another little activity that we like to do. And I'm going to walk up my little game field here. And what you're going to see up here is what we call boffer weapons. I'm sure some of you guys that are into reenactment and stuff like that are well aware of these. But the boffer weapons are a simple thing. They are basically foam noodle around a PVC core, counterbalanced weight, wrapped in fabric, and then he used kind of a fabric tape to hold it and to give it kind of some coherency. I think he used hot glue on the body to hold it in place. These are very, very hastily thrown together. He's usually a lot better at it, but I didn't give him a whole lot of heads up, so he did the best he could with what time he had. Anyway, we used to use these as training weapons because obviously you can use them with full contact, well, 3/4 contact anyway, because they are, if they were more heavily padded, you could do full. But I'd say about 3/4 with them. We get the kids out here, let them beat the snot out of each other. The adults do too. I used to use these all the time training because I used to work at a Renaissance fair and did a lot of the sword play and things like that. So had a lot of fun with that and whatnot. So anyway, that's one of the games that we play. So I've shown you the axes, I've shown you the spear, the boffer weapons. These are just kind of some examples of things we do at festival for fun and games. Hey guys, I thought I'd show you one more thing while I'm here, all right? Now, down about my hip, which it's not going to turn into that kind of video, but down around my hip, what you're going to find is my oath ring. Now, it's said in olden times that the Gothi of a tribe during festival would hold the oath ring and wear it while at festival. Now, normally, that is an arm ring that's worn about the arm and then held aloft during ritual. So I use mine during ritual and to declare frith and grith, etc., etc. But I also wear it about my hip on this little hook. It's hard to see there, but I put it on that hook and I wear it about my hip. Obviously, I also carry around utility knife while I'm out here, and of course my sidearm, just because we live out in the country and it's handy to have a sidearm in case of snakes and things like that. We're having festival, we're not stupid, so it is Texas. So again, pardon the red face and the sweat, it's a hot day outside, but I'll keep posting some stuff here later on, so hang with us, and hopefully I can get some people to talk to us on video. We'll see. Got some shy folks, so hey, see you in a bit. Hey guys, all right. If you can't tell, I've gotten a little creative with my microphone because we're going to do a little interview session here. Again, this is at Freyfaxi. Set my little clicker down here. Yes, I have clipped my lavalier mic to my knife, so we're going to see how well this works as a mic stand. It's a heathen microphone stand. Hey, rock on. So, all right. Now, you guys have heard me talk many times about the cat that sits on the fence. Comes out to ETH, stuff like that. And he's kind of an outsider looking in, but he's still family. It's weird. He's a cat. They're just bizarre. Stuff like that. So, this is Brandon. And he's a dear friend of mine. I've known him forever. And he's been coming out to our events now for a while. And he's been to a number of our festivals at this point. And he's partaken in a lot of our rituals, our games, things like that. So I'm going to hand you the mic here. But Brandon, tell me a little bit about, as an outsider looking in, when you come to like a Hridgar festival, what stands out to you? I mean, because I know you're not necessarily heathen per se. You're your own kind of thing. And so you're going to have kind of a unique perspective coming into our festivals, and I'm kind of interested to hear, as an outsider looking in, kind of what you see with the tribe and what stands out, because a lot of our viewers have never had a true festival before. A lot of them have messaged me asking me, how do we do festival? How do we do it? Can I see a ritual? Things like that. And of course, like you and I've talked before about why I can't video or ritual itself. So, but you've been in ritual with us. So, tell you what, I'm going to hand you the mic here. Don't stab yourself with it, but let us know a little bit about your insights.
Well, like you said, I'm more of an outsider than actually part of the tribe, even though I have partaken of the festivals and ETH and things like that. And you, like you said, I am considered part of the family, even if I am a cat always on the outside. It is one of my things. As far as how I would view it, it's more along. I don't really see it as a solemn thing, except for like maybe the rituals, which there's only usually one, maybe two every time festival I've been to, which is of course Bloat and then Sambal later. But mainly, I always see this as just like a get together as a family, because I come from a very large family, and when we did do get-togethers, that's pretty much what this was. It was a very relaxed atmosphere. People got on in their little groups. There was a lot of mingling and sharing of groups, and whenever someone got bored with the conversation or something like that, maybe games, something like that. Not today. It's bloody hot because fall has already come and it's summer again.
That's Texas. I've got them set up around here. Nobody's doing it
because it's hot.
Yeah, and like I said before, there's the whole hurricane thing, so it's humid as all get out in Texas right now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, my daughter, you've heard Eric talk about rain. She is basically sitting inside in a puddle of her own sweat in the air conditioning. That's Texas for you. Mm-hmm. So, if she comes out, maybe you'll get to see her, maybe not. Awesome loss. But that's the way it's always seemed to me. It's just more along the lines of a family get-together. Now, I guess you could say probably the funnest one I've been to would have been Ostra a couple years ago, when we did the egg thing. And me being the cat, I did not want to have any egg on me, so I was really good at the games. I rocked on until Eric's brother decided, it's like, nope, everyone has to have some egg on him, and just smashed me with one.
Eggs are for luck.
Ew. I did the whole cat shake thing. Everybody thought it was hilarious. But
no, keep going.
That was the best one, I guess you would say, the best one I've been to, because it was cool. Everybody was having fun. No one was real miserable with the weather. I've got pictures up of my daughter throwing the axes and the knives when she earned her name of our little assassin. And yeah, and as far as the actual rituals go, I mean, that's not for me to talk about because I'm not part of the tribe. But when it happens, it's very solemn, and when it starts, and when it ends, and there's very clear delineation between, okay, we're having fun, now we're serious. And there's never really any awkwardness. And that's my take on the whole thing.
Cool. So, you've been to, because again, the theme for this one is, of course, Freyfaxi and whatnot, so the festival. You've been to a number of these festivals, and like you said, the games and everything are a fun deal, watching the kids play. What I'd like to see for folks that are trying to set up their own is, you've been out here, and there may be things that I miss as far as tips and tricks and things like that. If you could get advice to anybody who's setting up an event like this, because you've been to plenty of mine at this point, they'd be able to know what works and what doesn't. What standout piece of advice would you give newbies as far as setting up a festival? What would either the do or the don't, the big thing that stands out to you?
Here's a don't. Don't expect to do it the same way we do it. That would be the number one don't. Because we live in the piney woods of East Texas, so we have our own thing as far as that's concerned. What I would say do is, if you're from the north, do northern stuff. If you're from the mid-east, do mid-eastern stuff. If you're from Florida, do Florida stuff. If you're from the deserts of Texas, do deserts of Texas stuff as far as the games and the fun part. As far as the rituals is concerned, I'm going to use Eric's phrase here, not my hall, not my call. That's your own thing. That's would be the number one do, is make it your own thing. If you're a hardcore Reconstructionist, make it a hardcore Reconstructionist. If you're more along the lines of the way me and Eric think, go that route. If you want to do a completely, totally new age thing in a circle with pentagrams and stuff like that, hey, awesome. Have fun with it. Do your thing. Have fun with it. Honor the gods and goddesses, and honor your family. There's my advice. There you go. I mean, everything else is gravy. If you do those few things right there, you honor your culture, whichever culture you're wanting to honor. You honor the gods and goddesses, and you honor your family. Everything else is gravy. And the more gravy, the better, because this is Texas, and we like our gravy.
There you go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our cat, Brandon. He's always around and he's always watching. So that's an outsider looking in on how Hridgar does festival. So we'll be back with more here in a little while, and not that it's going to be any difference to y'all, because it's all edited together and it's going to be all one big thing, and all of a sudden it's going to be boop. Here we go.
It's gonna be a 5-minute video.
Right? No, it's still. No, it's seriously, dude. I did the intro for this thing in the office. That's already 12 minutes.
Oh God.
I don't do short. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna cut this one. We'll be back in a minute. Okay. I'm still sweating my tuchus off, but it's still a good Freyfaxi. We're having a great time. Most of my people are kind of camera shy, so I haven't gotten a whole lot of people to agree to be on film. But I want you guys to know we do have about 20 to 25 people here. There would have been more, but we had some last minute cancellations. So, Mike, if you're watching this, miss you, man. Wish you could have been here. And there's several others that we wish could have been here as well. And if you hear road noise in the background, that's because I'm standing out by the roadside. We've got another couple of guests coming. Lauren and her crew are rolling up here any minute now. And I'm standing by the roadside to be able to flag them in because they've never been out to our place before. But this is a chance for me to touch base again and kind of let you guys know this is crazy. This is out there. You know, we never know what's going to go on. I don't know if you can see in the background behind me here, but this cloud cover rolling by is a storm system that's rolling through. Obviously, like I said before, it's sweltering, it's hot, we're all sweating, we're having to hydrate as much as we're drinking. And you can hear the combines in the background where the guy's doing his field over there. But that storm system's rolling by, and it's just narrowly missing us at this point. So we're not entirely certain. Yeah, again, road noise, sorry about that. We're not entirely certain whether or not we're going to stay dry for this whole thing. I would welcome a cooling wind, but like that one that's blowing through right now, I'm sure it's jacking with the microphone good. Sorry about that, guys. But a nice cool off would be great, but it's not a guarantee. So here comes Lauren. I'm going to sign off real quick, and I'm going to head back up to the site. So thank you, guys. Bye. All right. Now, I know this particular video is going to be dark. That's because when we go hard and we go long. So I've just completed the story a little while ago. People have started fading off. And for those of you that don't know, I always try to work as one of my stories into our festivals. And so with Freyfaxi, I worked in Thorin's story in the saga of Bjorn Thorolfsson. And so it's chapter 4, I believe, in the saga that I've been writing. Anyway, people have started fading off, trailing off. We're about to close with Sumbul. So we always like to kind of open with a meet and greet and everything. The first official act of business is that we go and do, can't get the light on me. We do our blot, our offering first, and then we open to games, frivolity, food, and I do a storytelling usually after we eat. And then we close the evening with Sumbul, which we're about to do. Now, obviously, like I said before, 100 times over, can't show you guys the actual ritual, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to close up with Sumbul, and unlike some others, we do our Sumbuls outside. We've got us a little fire started that we're working on, so we're going to fire it up here, get it some more life going, and get things going. But I wanted to thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's going to be kind of bouncy all over the place. Editing is not necessarily going to be the greatest because, let's face it, I'm not the greatest at editing, but hey, it's what it is. Thank you guys for joining us. This is just kind of a little bitty glimpse into our festivals and kind of what we do. There's some things you guys didn't see, like the kids throwing axes, the kids running around with the boffer weapons. I wasn't going to put the kids out on YouTube. I'll let them do their thing and not have to worry about being on the internet. And I know you didn't get to see most of my other people, but you know, they're still back there talking, doing their thing. So the ones that are still with us, and they're all going to join in, and the ones that are sticking around, we're going to do Sumbul here in just a few to close out our evening. After that, we're all going to crash, and we're going to crash hard. My brother Jacob, my Jarl, has been up since I think 2:30 this morning. He cooked the brisket for the meal today, which was amazing. Holy crap, so good. And Twyla and I have been up. I've been up since 4. Twyla's been up since about 5:30 or so. Just getting ready for the day. It's been blow and go and work all the way up until everybody started getting here about 2 o'clock. Then we kicked things off and we've been going ever since. So I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm nasty. I'm going to have to wash my hair and everything else here in a little bit, and I'm about to smell like campfire smoke, which is going to be even worse. But I love it because I'm a country boy, and I love being out in the woods and stuff. So stay tuned. If you guys don't follow my Weaving Words show, Weaving Words, I'm going to have my this story from tonight, hopefully, up on that here soon. It's going to depend heavily on whether or not the editing on it goes okay. So I'm going to try and get it edited and try and get it out there. Try and get the phone out of the shadow. And I'm going to try and get this particular video up next. I have another one that I'm planning on putting out after this. It's all going to depend on editing and time. So hopefully this won't take too terribly long. Do forgive that I didn't do a whole lot of like the wordage and stuff at the bottom on these, because that's not what this one's about. All right, this one isn't about vernacular. This one isn't about teaching. This is about sharing a piece of our festival and what we do with you guys the best I can. This is the only way I know how to open it up to you guys. And I know I've had several people ask if they could video conference in for the festival and whatnot, and that's not really what we do. But this is something I can do. I can put this out there, share with you guys in this way, and hopefully it will be something that kind of sheds some light on how we do things. All right, plenty of games, plenty of activities, and we're ending a night full of family, friends, tribe. That's what we do. So, from the Hridgar family to yours, hail. Happy Freyfaxi, if you celebrate it. Happy fall, nonetheless. Happy harvest. May the thinning of the veil bring your ancestors closer to you. May your halls echo with joy. May the gods smile upon you. And may your winter be full of happy nights, filled with friends and family, as it should be. Hail. May your ancestors smile on you.